Hello, everyone. Happy Financially Lit Tuesday. Back at it again. I am live every Tuesday at 6 p.m. on the dot. I'm live on Facebook and the Sipping Wealth YouTube channel. So every Tuesday, bringing you tips, facts, and tricks to help you wealth up. So today, I will be going over how to pay your kids through your business. Y'all, this is a huge topic of discussion. So I know everyone's gonna be like wondering, like, oh shoot, I didn't even know I could do this. Or maybe you've been watching them TikTok videos and they told you that you can pay your kids through your business or wherever you heard through the grapevine. But what I want you to go ahead and do is hit the share button. If you're on YouTube, go ahead and hit subscribe. Let everyone know that you to tune into this topic because it is a big one. There's a lot of children out here with parents with businesses, so we need to take advantage of this benefit. So we need to wealth up, right? So let me see who's tuned in with me. Go ahead and comment. Let me know that you're tuned in. Let me know that you're listening. Let me see who's out there. All right. And then I'll go ahead and get started on the topic, y'all, because I know everyone's super excited. I know I'm excited to talk about it. Let me know if y'all excited because I feel like this is definitely going to be a huge topic today. So to get us, juiced up while y'all are out there hitting share, while you're out there hitting like, while you're out here there getting your comments ready or subscribing to the YouTube channel. Hey, Danette, what's up, girl? You see how this color's doing, girl? Hello, girl. Danette said, hey, girl. Awesome. So just to get started, you all know the importance of generational wealth, right? We are out here making sure that we're breaking generational curses, generational burdens that has been put onto our families, things like that. We are making moves, okay? And this is one of the big steps. We want to know how to get this tax break, right? Danette said, I love it. Thank you, girl. Hey, Autumn. Hey, girl. Love this. Yes, thank you for tuning in, y'all. Thank you, thank you. All right. So we know that we want to make sure that our kids are learning the value of work, right? Learning how to earn money or how to start earning money, right? So how old are you when you started earning money or started even learning about money? Hey, just think about when's the last time or when was the first time that money fell into the palm of your hand and you were like, oh, I have a quarter, or maybe you said I had $1. Maybe you said I had $5, and you was like, ooh, I'm doing a thing. I'm waiting for the ice cream man, whatever the case may be. But yeah, so we want to learn. We want to teach our kids early. We want them to get exposed to it early. So this is a great way to do so. Also, help them with learning how to solve problems. Yo, for my business owners out there, Danette, Autumn, for anyone else that's tuned in, what are the on a day-to-day basis, how many issues come about, like are thrown at you, just in the world of business alone. And to be able to, expose your children to that, involve them in this and the interaction of, hey, let's try to figure out how to do this, or let's try to figure out help mommy do that, help dad do this. Help expose them to the world of business or how to earn money for themselves. Also, great job and experience and working experience. They get to learn how to work with their parent. They're exposed to the business world, to earning money, the power of being able to say, I did something and I received a reward and because of it. And also setting up your kids for success in the future. So I'll be going over all of that today, y'all. Again, go ahead and hit share. Go ahead and drop a comment. Let me know, who's tuned in with your girl. And let me know if y'all love this topic as well. What kind of entities? Who can do this, right? So you want to know, I have a business, but can my business actually do something like this? All right, Danette said, I definitely want to learn to have these conversations with my girls while they're young. I was thinking about having them label jars. Yes, exactly. So I'm going to go over that today, Danette. What kind of jobs that you can have your kids doing? From as young as 3 years old, maybe 4 years old. How young are they? These jobs have to make sense. You can't just be paying your kids through your business for anything. But I'll be going over what qualifies tonight, right? For starters, who can actually do this? What kind of businesses can actually hire their children and pay them, right? So you got sole proprietors. Maybe you don't have an LLC just yet. You got a DBA. You did your sole proprietorship on Sunbiz, however the case may be. You can take advantage of this. Single member LLCs. So my disregarded entities, you can do this. My sole proprietors, my partnerships. So my married couples that started a business together, my sister business partners, whoever. If you have a partnership, you can take advantage of this. LLCs treated as partnerships as well. You can also take advantage of this. Now with corporations, it gets a little iffy. With corporations, not to say that you can't hire your children, but you are still required to pay the self-employment taxes, so the Medicare and Social Security taxes and everything like that. So there are a lot more restrictions when it comes to corporations hiring their children. But I will go over sole proprietors, single member LLCs, partnerships, LLCs as partnerships, all that good stuff tonight with you. Right? How old can my kid be before I start hiring them for my business? That is a huge question, right? Because we want to know, hey, if I'm still, cradling the baby, can I hire them? No, come on. Your baby can't possibly do any work for your business. The work that they're doing for your business has to make sense. So the work that they're doing has to be an ordinary or necessary task for your business. So if you own Danette, right? So my girl Danette has her beautiful little ones, right? So Danette, if you're like, hey, I want to have my girls, working for the salon, getting exposed to the world of business, and also they get to help with the labor. And it's cool, they get to get their hands into whatever the case may be. You said you want your girls to label jars. That's necessary. So now you have a task where you have your children labeling jars for you. Yes, they can. That's a task. Say you give them and you pay them, you have to pay them working wages. So you can't pay them $50 an hour to label jars, right? It has to be reasonable. Maybe you pay them $20 an hour. So $20 an hour, and then they work for 2 hours. Maybe they work for 3 hours. So your girls work for 3 hours at $20 an hour, labeling jars. And then now you say, we documented, you have to document. But my business out there, my business owners out there, look, I know we get excited. Let me take a sip because this is serious. Yeah. This is serious. My business owners out there, you have to keep good records. You have to keep good records, because if the IRS comes and they're like, you over here trying to hire your child, let me see your records. And you're like, oh, I didn't actually keep track of the hours my child was working, or I didn't really actually keep track of, the payroll that I was running for my child, then it's not legitimate. You have to make sure that you're keeping a proper record, y'all. We have to get better at record keeping. Document everything, every single thing. Not only will it make your business more profitable, it will make sure that you're in compliance, right? All right, back to it. So make sure that the work that your child is doing is necessary. They're labeling jars, right? You have your girls labeling jars for 3 hours. You document, okay, they're labeling jars. Maybe we have you, Danette is one of our bookkeeping clients. So Danette comes to Grand Rev and she's like, hey, I'm hiring my girls. And we're like, all right, cool. We're taking from there because we're her bookkeeper. So we run payroll for her. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna make sure that we give Danette the time tracker so she can make sure she properly tracks the time that her child is spending on labeling jars. So once she tracks that time, we see it on our end. We're able to then run the proper payroll to make sure her child gets paid into her child's account. All right, here's where it gets interesting, y'all. Where does the money that you're paying your child go to? You can't just have it go into the same bucket that it came out of, right? It doesn't work like that. We got to make sure that we're setting our kids up with custodial accounts. It's very simple, very easy. The same way you set up your personal account, bank account, it's kind of the same way. The only thing is you're bringing your child's paperwork with you. So it's a custodial account. Now you're ahead of the account, but your child is also on the account as well. So now when you're paying your child from your business, it's going into your child's account. And at the end of the year, when it's time to file taxes, your child would actually file their own tax return, right? With their little money that they receive from their parent. But I'm going to break that down a little more. I know we don't got all the time in the world, but you're all going to leave here tonight saying like, whoa, I got this. Yes. Hello, Clarence. How's it going, Mr. Jackson? Great information. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for everyone that's tuning in. Go ahead and hit share. If you're on YouTube, go ahead and hit subscribe to the Sipping Wealth YouTube channel. And yes, back at it. So how it works is you can only pay your child up to $12,500. $12,500. If you go over that, then they're going to start having to pay taxes on that amount. Everything below that, look, go ahead, take that deduction as an employer, and then your child doesn't have to pay taxes on that money as well. So essentially, you got $12,000, $12,500 of money that you're saving for your child, whether it's in a college savings plan, whether it's in a investment plan, whether it's in whatever you want to set up your kid to for their future, you can go ahead and set that up. You as far as like making sure your child is set up for the future, right? So remember, $12,500. Now, back in 2018, before the Tax Cuts and Job Act got passed, it was $6,300. This was not just invented yesterday, right? So this has been a thing. But then when Trump came in office, he was like, oh, I'm going to go help my homies out, my business owners out. Ooh, if you own a business, here you go. Now I'm going to double it. Hey, Teresa, how's it going? Good teachings. I appreciate you being tuned in. So now he was like, now you can, from that bill that was passed in 2018, you could now do 12,000 instead of that 6,000 that was available before. So now that's 12,500. Why is it 12,500? Because the standard deduction is 12,500, right? So anything above that standard deduction now becomes taxable. If for anybody that just lost, standard deduction is a standard deduction that gets added to the tax return. So the IRS says, hey, for the standard of living, we're going to you don't have to pay taxes on this amount of money, depending on your filing status. So for my single folks, your standard deduction is $12,500. For my married folks, it's $24,000. For my head of household, $18,000, and it goes from there. But now the IRS says you don't have to pay taxes on that amount to account for the standard of living. Now, because the standard of living for my single folks, which your child would be considered filing single, is $12,500, you can only pay them up to $12,500. Anything above there would be taxed, will be taxable income. Can you continue to pay your child above there? Absolutely. If you want to pay your child $30,000 a year, do your thing. But after $12,500, your child will be taxed on that amount. And then you want to make sure that your child is not being paid more than 2/3 of your income. Because after that, they're no longer dependent on you. They can basically fend for themselves. So it is a tax shelter. So it allows you, that tax shelter allows you to basically hold this money that you don't have to pay taxes on. That $12,000, because you're paying your child, that child will not be taxed on it, and you won't be taxed on that money because you are deducting it from your business's income, right? Everybody with me? I want to make sure I'm not confusing anyone out there because this is big. I want to make sure that everyone has an idea of how to go about paying their child through their business. What does this help do? You get the deduction, the business tax deduction as an employer. It reduces your federal income tax bill because you don't have to pay taxes on that income. It also, that self-employment tax that you would have to pay because you are an LLC, you are a partnership, you are a single a disregarded entity or a sole proprietor. That self-employment tax that you would have to normally pay, you no longer have to pay that money. So for my LLC people, for my partnerships, you still have to pay self-employment tax, which is Medicare and Social Security. That doesn't get like taken out unless you move into like corporation status and things like that. And then you have to run actual payroll. But for my LLCs, partnerships, and that's why this paying your child this way kind of works, because as an LLC, as a partnership, things like that, you're still taxed as a sole proprietor in a sense. Where when you file your personal tax return, you have to put your business earnings or losses with your personal tax return. For my LLC people, your partnership tax return will give you a form to file with your personal tax return. For my LLC people, your tax return is filed together with your personal tax return. So that's how it works. Yes. So your child below the age of 18 does not have to pay that Social Security tax, Medicare tax, or federal reemployment tax. So for my employers out there, my business owners out there that have payroll, you already know you have to pay that reemployment tax. And if you're not paying reemployment tax and you have employees, just come ahead and speak to us at Grand Rev. We'll help get you in compliance, okay? But your payroll processor should make sure that you're, in compliance with that anyway. Yes, so you don't have to pay that federal reemployment tax up to the age of 21. For for Social Security and Medicare, it's up to the age of 18. What else does this do? It helps decrease your state income tax. For my people that are in other states, I file quite a few tax returns that are in other states: California, New York, Georgia. Tennessee doesn't have state tax, so we're okay. But other states, Chicago, Illinois, so they have state taxes. So it helps decrease that state tax bill as well. Everybody with me? All right, just a few other things. Just a quick tips for y'all to. Just because we're running out of time here, but I want to make sure that everyone's up to date as far as what to do and how to do it, right? So you don't have to issue your child a W-2. All right, Raining Hut, hey. Raining Hut, which has amazing Caribbean food. Definitely go and see her. She has a great food truck. She said great info. Yes, thank you. Hello. Yes, so for you have your daughter. You can definitely, and you have your daughter out at your food trucks all the time. I've seen her a couple of times. Perfect. You can have her work for the business, pay her through the business with the information I provided here today, and take that tax shelter, that $12,500 of money that you don't have to pay taxes on. And then for her, she has that savings plan. She has that college savings plan. She has that investment account. Whatever you want to do for her with that money, you can go ahead and set that up. Hit my elbow. All right. You don't have to issue a W-2. So just because you're paying your child through the tax through the business, you don't issue an actual W-2 at the end of the year for your child. But they do. You will issue them essentially like to account for the income, something like a 1099, to account for the income that you paid them through the year. So they get the 1099, they put it on their tax return, and now they're able to file their tax return, their kitty tax, we call it the kitty tax, and then but still being filed under your tax as a dependent under your tax return. Yes, so that's for children under the age of 18. because after 18 they're not a child anymore, right? um to run through what I just said, I'm going to go through really quick. Top like 5-6 things to remember. All right. Hey, Wadeline, awesome sauce. Thank you, girl. All right, really quick. All right, things to remember. Make sure that you're hiring your child to do actual work, right? You can't have them, doing stuff that don't really fit your business. Like you own a boutique, but you have your son cutting the grass. No, it doesn't make sense for your business. You can't pay your child to do so. All right. Hey, Latoya. Hey. You can't pay your child to do it, right? So you just let that go. You have to pay them to do actual work that your business needs. If you own a boutique and you need your child to fold clothes, make them fold clothes. If you own a Latoya owns a photography company, and maybe she has her daughter taking pictures for her. Maybe she has her organizing her bag so that she is ready for the shoot, her next shoot. Right? So Toya's like, hey, to her daughter, I need you to do these to make sure I'm ready for my shoot. I need you to do this to make sure I'm ready for my shoot. Maybe her daughter spends 5 hours doing that stuff. She pays her daughter $25 an hour. Now she just paid her daughter within the business, and she can take advantage of that tax shelter. All right. Next is making sure that you're following, labor laws. Okay, y'all. You can't just have your child working 80 hours a week. It's still the child is still a child. Okay, so make sure your child is not working during school hours. Okay, no, they can't be. You can't take them out of school to and make them work. They have to be after school hours, and it has to be at a reasonable time. So you can't have them up at 2:00 in the morning saying, hey, they're working for the business. Make sure that you're complying with labor laws. Okay. And I remember me growing up, I started doing bookkeeping and taxes when I was 14, 15, working with my sister. And literally I go to school 6:00 in the morning to 2:00 in the afternoon, go straight to the office. And during tax season, I wouldn't get home until like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I would do that again. And I was a child, and I also liked the environment as well. Yes, I was tired, but that doesn't comply with labor laws. Even though I was doing it, technically that didn't comply, but I'm older now, it's done. All right. Also, the other thing is comply with employment laws. So you have to make sure that everything's documented. You got to make sure everything's documented. Have to make sure that your child is going through the same procedures that you would go through with anyone else that comes into your business. You have them fill out the new hire paperwork. Well, you don't have them fill it out. You fill it out for them. But you get what I'm saying. You fill it out for them. You get it filed away. All that. You have to make sure that you have your paperwork together, y'all. Because if the government come after you, baby, they like fining. But yes, just make sure that you are in compliance and then that you are following those employment and labor laws that are out there. Make sure that you're giving your child actual pay that makes sense. Don't pay them $100 an hour to staple paper. No, it doesn't make sense. No, you can't do that. All right. So if you're like, hey, I need you to file paperwork, and you pay them $15 an hour to organize paperwork, that makes sense because that's a regular working wage, right? Especially nowadays where the standard cost of living is increasing and employment wages are increasing. It's starting to make sense. So just kind of look at, hey, for somebody that's doing what my child is doing, what would they normally get paid? And then pay them that amount. Or you could do like a couple of dollars above that, but don't go more than a couple of dollars. Yeah. All right. The other is make sure that you are separating personal and work. Don't have your child come home and do chores and pay them through the business. No, it don't work that way, right? That is not in compliance. I know as much as we want to do it, as much as we think, yes, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna pay you through the business. Make sure you clean your room. Go ahead, Johnny, clean your room, and I'll make sure that you have your allowance. No, allowance is not the same thing as working for your business. All right, so keep it separate, separated. Make sure that y'all are keeping track of these things. Like I gave you the example of one of my clients earlier. Make sure that you're keeping it separate. The other one is make sure that the money that your child is earning is going to a custodial account, is going through a Roth IRA, is going to a college savings plan, is going through something. I would recommend and something like an IRA, something like a college savings plan, a 529 plan, something along those lines to help you, because those accounts are growing in interest, are making them money. So I recommend accounts like that versus just putting it in a custodial account that's not really earning much interest, that's not doing much. The other thing is, you're gonna have to file your child's tax return as well. Yes, your child has to file their own personal tax return, but they will put on theirs that they are a dependent of yourself. So even though that your child is filing their own return, they're still dependent of you. You can still file with your child. They just have to file their own kiddie tax. Danette said, do you set up these accounts? Custodial accounts, no. You can go to the bank and set those up. IRAs and things like that, I do have a colleague that set those up. If you need assistance with the IRAs and things like that. I do life insurance accounts, annuities, life insurance and annuities. So if you do want to set those up, then I got you. Or I have colleagues that can help you set up with the other savings plans for your girls. But yes, y'all, let me make sure I went over there. The gist of everything, there's so much information out there. For my people that have corporations, it does work a little different, where you do have to still pay the self-employment the Social Security and Medicare tax. But you can still have your child work for the business. They just can't be, it just won't have that tax shelter that it does for my sole proprietors, LLCs, partnerships. For your IRA setups, for my people that want to set up IRA plans for their child, you can put aside $6,000 a year for your child. So that's half of the money you're paying them already in the IRA account. That's earning interest. By the time they're retiring, they're millionaires. They're lit, okay? If you have like a good company that's going to manage the fund properly, like, yes. Just make sure that you are doing your 1099s, your W-9s, for your employees, your contractors. You don't want to trigger an employment audit. Just make sure that you're in compliance, make sure that you're paying them a working wage and that they're doing actual tasks and that they're getting paid to not into their accounts, not the business account. So separate your earnings, separate personal from business. And yeah, y'all, that is 6:30. Time goes by so fast, but that is it for today. Next week is going to be a brand new topic. We will release that shortly to let you know what we're going over next week and have the list out for the remaining of the month. Thank you everyone for joining me for this Financially Lit Tuesday. And go ahead and hit share. Like I said, go ahead and hit subscribe on the YouTube channel, Sipping Wealth. If you're not on the YouTube channel already, go ahead and go on YouTube and hit subscribe and share with your friends and family. I'll be back every Tuesday at 6 p.m. live in action. I'm ready to give y'all tips, tricks, and news to help you wealth up. All right, y'all. That's it with the Miss Wealth. Have a great night.